Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm glad to have you with us for NBA basketball. Thursday Hoops. It'll be the Philadelphia 76ers facing off against the Boston Celtics. And now out to Boston with Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg.
Welcome, maybe the best day of the NBA, Thursday night, and we're happy you could be here with us. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Doris Burke bringing us great reports from the sideline. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the 76ers. Cheeks is out there with Allen Iverson. We've got Chamberlain. Rookie season underway for him, and excited about his first start. Then there's Irving. And it's Malone in at the 4 slot. And for Boston, Rajon Rondo and Paul Pierce pairing up in the backcourt. You've got Russell. It's his first official game as a starter. Then it's Bird, and it's McHale in at the power forward.
You know, you think of what a typical Eastern Conference team plays like, and you often think of the Celtics. I mean, they like to slow it up. They'll play hard D and take their fouls when they can. Still, the Celtics last year were just average when it came to playing the rest of the conference.
So Philadelphia will get the first possession. There's the dish to Iverson. Fires the jumper from the corner and nails it. Iverson's got the opening bucket of the night here for the 76ers. Well, and back to the Celtics, even as you said, Clark, they do all the things most Eastern Conference teams do well. They just couldn't keep it together, Steve, to finish far above 500 in the East.
Well, losing Rondo was a huge part of it, as they had to adjust their entire offense midway through the season. And I think a lot of it, too, is, the rest of the East has caught up to them, and time is finally catching up to them.
Here's Cheeks, following the basket by Larry Bird. Kicks to Irving. The high post shot. Rebounded by the Celtics. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, here's what the Celtics head coach had to say when we spoke just a few minutes ago. He'd like them to concentrate defensively on slowing the game down. There's simply too much speed in their opponent, and to get into a run-and-gun type of game is not to their advantage, guys.
All right, Doris.
Yeah, one of the great shooters in the history of the game, Kevin. He was just so good. And it wasn't just the shooting stroke. It was the ability to get that shot off, despite a lack of great athleticism. But he had that high release, and he used his body, used angles to get the shot off anytime he wanted.
It really was a big part of why he had such phenomenal shooting percentages his whole career. I mean, he just never went cold. And, of course, late in games, he would heat up and become basically unstoppable.
The shot by Pierce will not go. And Philadelphia has possession. Irving with it. He's picked up by Rondo. Chamberlain backing down. And that one hits back iron.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
His presence is very comforting for this team. He's kind of a fallback option for them anytime they need it.
Boy, there were a bunch of problems for Philadelphia last season, and a lot of them stem from the inability to score. Problems on offense typically make it harder for you to defend effectively, but also make it tougher for you on the road, too.
The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Iverson against Pierce. Rondo. He dishes it to Russell. Can't get it to go. Some solid defense there from Irving. And Clark, to the point you made about the 76ers, scoring was hard enough for them at home. But with 20,000 people booing you and playing on foreign rims, Steve, it got that much tougher for him away from Philadelphia.
Well, let's be honest, Kevin. The whole season went down the drain with Andrew Bynum's injury because the team was going to be built around him. And when you can't throw the ball into the low post, and you've given up your athletes on the perimeter, now you have no identity. And I think that was the issue for Philly last year.
No good on the free throw.
Well, you know, last season I think officially brought the immediate championship aspirations of the Celtics to a close. The 7th seed in the East, dispatched in the first round by the Knicks. The rebuild was on in full cycle.
So he comes up empty, missing both. And back to the Celtics, making the playoffs, sure, but, you know, not like Steve back in 08 or 2010.
Well, this has been a phenomenal era with KG and Pierce that is now a thing of the past. But look, they've hoisted a championship banner very close to another, but it's just time to move on. And that's just the way it is in the NBA. These things go in waves, and the Celtics now in rebuilding mode.
Here's Iverson. Good as the jump shot falls. Iverson's got 7 points. 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Rondo kicks to Havlicek. Russell, a screen on Iverson. Havlicek. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
And he's got his first free throw of the game. And that one misses. And the 76ers making a change here. Good on the second free throw. Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Here's Chamberlain. It's good. The assist this time from Bibby. Chamberlain got his first bucket in this one.
Great unspoken communication between teammates leading to the nice assist and the easy score.
1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. What stands out to you guys from the 76ers in this one?
Solid first quarter for this club. They came out strong, and they put together some nice momentum here.
Steve, I like the looks they've gotten on offense. A lot of good ones.
Boston trailing.
I think it's fair to say that the top of the Eastern Conference has been getting tougher over the last few seasons. Unfortunately for the Sixers, they've headed the other direction. They've been going south, and part of why they were on the outside of the playoffs looking in.
Here's Heinsohn. Back to Johnson. Shot clock at 5. No good. Excellent D there from Collins. Philadelphia with the ball. And back to what you were saying, Clark, about Philadelphia going through a lot of roster changes last year. You're right, in a season where a lot of other teams in the East put it all together. Steve, bad timing for Philadelphia.
Yeah, bad timing. Roster changes and injuries, of course. I mean, the big trade for Bynum looked like it was going to be something that could help them get to the top of the East, but Bynum never played a single game for them. And so it's understandable why Philadelphia struggled.
That's a second personal foul. If he gets another, it probably puts him on the bench for the rest of the first half.
Catching up on the changes for Philadelphia. Barnett is checked in for Iguodala. And Hersey Hawkins subbed in for Collins. Jones, no luck.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
There's the pass to McGinnis. Here's Barnett. Sanders covering. 1:49 left now here in the second. Stolen by Havlicek. And pushing it up, here's Boston. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line.
You know, when you're an older team and you try to milk every possession, you've got to be more efficient. And over the past few years, the Celtics have failed to grab offensive rebounds, and that problem was not corrected during their disappointing 12-13 season.
Heinsohn's checked in for Sanders. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. Well, Clark, as you said, the Celtics just didn't grab any offensive rebounds at all this last season. Dead last in the entire league in that regard. And Steve, they were getting, what, about 8 a game.
That's been the case with the Celtics for about the past 4 or 5 years. They've never been a team that concentrated on offensive rebounds, partly because they wanted good transition defense, so they didn't send more than 1 or 2 guys to the offensive glass.
I think it's safe to say, guys, that the Atlantic Division was one of the tougher ones in the East last year, if not all of the NBA, but both New York teams improved and Boston made the playoffs as usual. Philly was able to hold their own, though, even in a down year.
Well, Clark, as you said, Philadelphia did remain respectable against the rest of the Atlantic Division, even in a lost season. Steve, they had a 7-9 record for them, and even while they weren't 500, they certainly played better against the Atlantic Division than they did outside the Atlantic.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is because there's some deep-seated rivalries between teams like Philly and Boston and New York. So even if a team like the Sixers is struggling, their fans are going to bring it on those nights when the rivals come to town.
The defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
Here's Hawkins. Here's Chamberlain. Gets it to go. Chamberlain got 6.
Obviously, they're evenly matched teams on the inside. The rebound numbers are very even.
Yeah, I've been impressed with just both teams' energy, just really working hard on the board.
Johnson attacking. Pass to Sanders. Feeds to Jones. Just 5 on the clock. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. For Boston, they have shot 80% from the line tonight, going 4 of 5 so far.
Well, you look back at a season ago, this is a club that made 78% of its shots from the free throw line, so very comfortable with that strike.
And you know, a lot of times, guys, in some of their performances last year, their free throw numbers helped them win games.
And the shot is good.
Wow, this has been a thriller. I mean, the way these teams are battling, just going back and forth.
Would you like to bet that this game may end on a buzzer beater? How much would you bet?
The shot and game clock separated by 4 on the wing. Burke. All alone. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession. And the 76ers making a change here. There's 18 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Iguodala outside. There's the 3. Offensive rebound. Here's Malone. Here's McGinnis. And finally they hit one. McGinnis has got his first basket.
Yeah, not just an everyday finish. He put a little pizzazz on that one, guys.
Tie game in Boston. The Sprint halftime show with Damon Bruce is coming up next. Then it'll be on to the third quarter. We'll see you then.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to 2K Sports on an NBA Thursday night.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And the lights of downtown Boston. The scene as we welcome you back.
Guys, the Celtics went from being a powerhouse in the East and middle of the pack last season, but they still protected their home court as well as anybody. Easy to find inspiration here with the parquet floor under your shoes and the banners hanging over top.
Boston shooting around 36%. They're just not able to finish consistently. And it's Rondo penetrating. Rebounded by Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain got his 3rd rebound tonight. You do have to love the parquet floor here, as you said, Clark. Pride certainly a factor last season, as the Celtics were able to finish, Steve, with a 27-13 record here at their home.
And even though the Celtics would end up just as the 7th seed in the East, you knew they would control their home floor just because of their veteran experience, their talent, their coaching. So they were really able to ride that home court into the playoffs.
The shot by Pierce will not go.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
Good. And it's a 5-point 76ers lead. And about a minute of action so far in the third quarter. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Here's Bird. Makes it off the glass. Bird's got 9 points.
Well, he recognized the advantage size-wise, and he went right at the defender. That's how you do it.
McGinnis, who's checked in for Philadelphia. 1:49 left to play in the third. Cheeks kicks to Irving. No good. Nice D from Bird.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Now here's Rondo. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. Now a timeout called by Boston. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy. And for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. So put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during the season, if you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker, you don't recover as fast, and that can really take its toll over the course of an 82-game season.
Poked loose and stolen by Chamberlain. Right side Irving. The 76ers with another miss.
Man, a nice job there defensively, just getting a hand up enough to bother the shot.
Yeah, that was very nice. Impressive. It made it a much more difficult shot.
Now here's Rondo. Dishes to Russell. And there's the feed to McHale. Gets it to go. For Philadelphia, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Passes it to Cheeks. Irving for 3. That's good. Irving's got his first 3 points of the game. There's 48 seconds left to play here in the third. And it's Rondo penetrating. It's blocked. Irving with it. Pass to McGinnis. Back to Irving. Tries a 3. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
But the defense isn't making them earn it. I mean, those shots have just come on easy, open looks.
And there's the defensive 3-second call. The Celtics shooting their 7th free throw attempt here. And he shows the focus there, nails the technical. So it's the Celtics now. 6-point game. Rondo kicks to Bird. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Bird's got 5 points now in the quarter. The third quarter comes to a close. 76ers lead by. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the 76ers?
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3-ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And then look at the points in the paint because they're really winning that battle tonight.
Here's Iverson, and right on target. Good. Iverson's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the 76ers. Rondo dishes to Havlicek. Back to Rondo. He feeds it to McHale. Knocked away. Leaps for it, and that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. Chamberlain's checked in for McGinnis. Shot clock at 6. Back to McHale. Chamberlain with the block.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound category. They've got to continue their work on the glass.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they're on the right side of the ledger, and that is all that matters to them right now with the lead they have. He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
Rondo passes to Russell. Back to Rondo. Celtics passing it around. Here's Bird. It's hauled in by the 76ers. 1:53 left in the fourth quarter. Malone misses.
That would have been a nice alley-oop there.
Well, you got to love the effort, though. Almost showtime.
Pierce kicks to Rondo. Back to Pierce. And he overshot that one, missing.
Surprisingly, he hasn't really been a big part of their offense. I don't think he ever got into a rhythm.
Out of bounds, Boston takes possession. Now a timeout called by Boston. They're losing by 8. 1:27 left in the game. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, the head coach for the Celtics had some instruction for his guys during that break. He said, listen, fellas, I know you're tired, but we can't coast. We've got to go harder. The win's in sight. We've got to power through it and go get it. Guys, pretty inspirational stuff.
And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. He kicks it to Rondo. Back to Pierce. Shoots from the high post. And he hits the jumper for 2.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if this results in that shot.
Here's Cheeks. Cans it from downtown.
This is incredible. It's been a three-point barrage since halftime.
Yeah, whether by design or by accident, it has been impressive.
Tries to save it. Irving kicks to Iverson. He passes to Cheeks. Launches it. Rebounded by the Celtics. Here's Rondo, and he throws it down hard with one hand. It's astonishing to see a player, Clark, at his position who can get to the rim like that.
Yeah, he goes very vertical on the hit.
And once he's up there, you know he's going to throw it down hard.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yes, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close. And with that basket, you'd have to think this lead is safe.
Well, if not 100% safe, certainly 95%.
Chamberlain no good on the free throw. The Celtics have gone 3 of 6 in the field so far in the fourth quarter. Here's against Iverson. Here's McHale. Malone with some nice D.
And excellent interior defense there. Good rotations.
No doubt about it, Steve. He's a real presence inside. Takes up a lot of space.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. It's on Larry Bird.
Shooting for Philadelphia, Wilt Chamberlain. Taking 2 shots.
And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. That's off as well, so he misses both. And Clark, maybe at this point, not much of a chance for a comeback.
I don't think it's going to happen, partner.
Yeah, pretty unlikely to dig out of this hole, but you can't think that way. You got to just play it possession by possession.
And now they foul and stop the clock.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. I mean, that's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
And the first of 2, no good. Heartbreaking. Some changes for Philadelphia. So he can't get either to fall. Now a timeout called by Boston. They're behind by 4. 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
Well, the way to go here, you got to get a quick basket and then a foul. That's the only course of action at this point.
And it's key who they foul. Don't send an excellent free throw shooter to the line here.
Not the best shot. Long range and with the defender right in his space.
And defensively, that's the kind of work he's known for. I mean, he loves to lock you up.
So it's the 76ers taking the win in a close game. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
That about does it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for watching. Now, here is our Jordan player of the game.